Welcome back to another episode of the Anime Bros. We got myself, Matt, and Christian as our hosts. And then we actually have two guests today, my friends Brendan and Matt. And we're gonna be talking about Death Note today. And so what do you think of the show, Chris?
Even after rewatching it, still think it's a really good show. There's definitely some things I forgot that looking back on it, I actually thought was pretty cool. And I thoroughly enjoyed watching it again. And it's definitely one of those binge watchable animes.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little longer than some of the other ones we've done. Like Me, Right, Nikki was like a 20 episode one. This one actually has closer to 40.
Does it have 40 though? I would like to argue that it only has 26 or 25.
Okay, because you don't like the second half, which, I mean, that's debatable. I'm not really a huge fan of the second half either. But what about you guys? What'd you think about it?
I'm going to sympathize a little bit with Christian on this one because I've not seen tons of animes myself, probably 10 or less, but I'll always look back and remember Death Note being one of my favorites. Like the first season left a huge impression on me, but I definitely remember being let down by the second season. I just thought they could have done a lot more interesting things with it.
What about you, Matt? You kind of thought the same thing, right?
It was concise. I do like that it was only 2 seasons. A lot of shows really drag out and bring in a lot of meaningless episodes and arcs and plot lines and stuff. And I thought they did a real good job of making the show concise and really focused on the characters and plot lines that were important. They also didn't do too many flashback episodes. Like they might have had a couple scenes where they flashback maybe, but they didn't have. There was only really one episode that did a recap.
I think we're gonna have to talk about your favorite character.
Yeah, we might have to go straight to that.
Because I think we just got to put that to bed.
Put it to bed. What was his favorite character?
Yeah, well, why don't you go ahead and talk about him? Who is your favorite guy?
What's his name? Matsuda?
Matsuda?
Matsuda. So Matsuda is probably the best character because he overhears an important conference going on for all the executives at one point in the show, but he fucks it up and like falls into the room. And then he overhears more stuff because of that. But like he's also the best because at the end he shoots Light right in the hand. Like he didn't even kill him; he just incapacitated him.
I'll give him that. I will give him the fact that he gets busted into this room, and it takes an extreme amount of cunning in order to like talk himself out of that when everybody in the room wants to kill him.
Yeah.
With that being said, the dude was useless and
A scrub.
I was gonna say, like, if you were gonna pick someone on that like Japanese task force to be your favorite character, I mean, other than like L comes in, but if you were gonna pick someone other than that, I would think you would pick like Aizawa or something. Like he was actually like kind of a cool cop, but I feel like Matsuda just like he wasn't really thinking on his own at all. Like you saw.
Was also like Light's wingman when they were having a conference with the girl. He was like egging him on. He was like, "Oh, dude, he's setting the mood perfectly."
But he was Light's wingman because Light knew he was easy to manipulate. He had no other choice.
Sounds like a complete scrum.
Onto like the smartest dude in the room.
I mean, at least like Aizawa was like still suspecting that Light was Kira.
Well, he was kind of like Misa in a way, I would argue.
Misa is not useless at all.
No, well, okay, all right. Misa is not useless, but she is kind of just a tool to Light.
Yeah, but dude, she like was doing that under her own free will. She's like, "Yo, Light, you can use me. Like, I'll make you love me." And then even at one point, she like forgets something really important. Light's like, when she gets her memories back, she's like, "Write down L's name," and she's like, "Oh, I don't remember. I gotta get the eyes back right away." Light didn't even tell it to you. She's like, "I gotta do this for Light. I gotta do what's right for my man."
But when I was rewatching that, that I looked at it, I was like, okay, at first I thought that happened to be an accident. When I rewatched it, I realized that Light actually planned for that to happen. He knew she wasn't going to remember the name, which is why he had that plan like that, which is really smart.
Well, I mean, like, you can manipulate Misa, but she wanted nothing but to be useful, and I feel like she actually was useful. Whereas Matsuda, he wanted nothing but to be useful, but like, L's like, "Go get me some coffee." Like, you can't really contribute to this at all.
Like Misa was like a screwdriver that worked, and then like Matsuda was like a screwdriver that was like broken in half, the wrong size. You like had no use for it. That screwdriver you get in the pack, you're like, okay, I'm gonna use these 3, and then that 4th one sits there.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, it's probably not a popular opinion. Misa's probably my favorite. I feel like, dude, there's 2 Shinigami that died over her. Like,
so Misa's your favorite. But who do you identify most with?
Oh, I like Aizawa. I like him because I feel like I might be like him because I wouldn't be like a super genius like Light or L, but I feel like Aizawa, even though he wasn't the smartest, he was still like he had an impact because Light's dad, obviously he's biased. He's like, I don't want Light to be Kira. Like Matsuda, he's sitting over there not doing anything. Mogi, he wasn't even really in the first season that much. He kind of started appearing more when he was actually Misa's manager. So I feel like of that task force, probably like Aizawa because he's still like trying to keep up with what's going on instead of just like being like, oh no, it can't be Light's on our side.
Yeah, but he was the one with the afro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he was the most realistic one because when they're like, hey, look, you guys either can like quit the task force and work this for free, or you can like go back to your own job. And he was the only one that like, hey, look, I have a family. This is actually kind of a hard choice. When everyone out there was like throwing logic to the wind, I feel like he was the most practical one out of that group.
So I definitely like him, but like I gotta say, my girl Misa, dude, she did the ideal twice. Her Shinigami Rem was like, don't tell anyone what I'm about to tell you. The second she meets Light, she's like, oh, yo, you know how to kill Shinigami? Like, do you know that yet? Like,
Well,
she's just coming out here with like useful information.
which is why she had to die. She talked too much. Well, look, she got caught.
She didn't die though.
They remember wrong. What her Shinigami had to die.
Yeah, that's like in the rules, right?
No, her Shinigami died. I thought you were saying Misa died.
No. The Shinigami died because Light ended up getting that information from her. But I was saying Misa talks too much.
She's coming out here and she's proving her worth right away. She's like, I bet you didn't know this.
She does talk too much. She goes out and tries to tell the other girl that her and Light are engaged, even though they aren't yet. Like,
exactly.
She's got stuff to say, man.
Came up. I mean, obviously he was able to find out this dude's name, but when she came up to Elle and Light, like while they were walking, it was like, come on, bro. He just said not to come to me in public, and is going to announce that she's his girlfriend right then and there.
I mean, I don't think she's as dumb as you think. She was wearing that disguise when she first saw Light. She was like in that cafe. She was like trying to get her friend to like submit the tape so it had her fingerprints on it. So
she still got caught from doing that.
Well, yeah, because Elle is a G. I'm not out here saying like she's the smartest character. I'm just saying like I would want an ally on my team who's gonna like listen to my instructions and just always try and prove their worth to me.
And then always talk whenever she was a liability at the end.
I don't know about all that.
She was loud, and her voiceover was kind of annoying.
I don't know. They're...
Actually, I can't remember what it was in the sub because I rewatched it in the dub. But I can't remember if her voice is better in the dub or the sub.
Yeah, I have no. I mean, people know I watch mostly dub, so I don't even know what her sub voice sounds like.
I haven't heard the sub.
From what I remember, the sub voice, I think it was more high pitched.
Even more?
Yeah, I could be wrong. I've been watching sub in a couple of years.
Well, what character did you like?
I like Ryuk the best. I think he's just a chiller. He seems like he could give a shit less what's going on.
I just like how he's always like snickering in Light's face, like
and his facial expressions are really interesting to me. They're funny, but they're also interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he'll like come up to an obstacle and then he's like Light. They show what he's thinking. He's like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna get out of this? And Ryuk's just sitting there like laughing in his face, like.
Well, it's not even just Ryuk's character, but I think it's also the whole Shinigami purpose. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of zooming out from humanity almost and looking at how we're just like killing each other and whatever.
Yeah, he really was like
kind of just takes a step back.
Yeah, he was on the sidelines for sure, whereas Rem was sitting here like trying to like protect Misa always. I feel like Ryuk was doing.
That's what did her in.
Yeah, I mean, there's two Shinigami that did that, dude. She got saved by two of them.
It's true, but it's like, come on now. Like she already knew that Rem was talking too much. She should have known that. Like, I mean, she already knew Misa was talking too much. She should have known that something was going to happen, and then she was going to have to take the fall. And that's what ended up happening. She had to take the fall for Misa talking too much.
I feel like this show kind of like spiraled out of control from like the beginning. Like Light was pretty much like almost in the clear, and then he killed all those FBI agents. Like, I don't really think he had to do that.
That was incredibly stupid. I don't know why he decided to do that.
Yeah, because they showed the FBI agent's perspective, and that guy was like, "Yeah, I don't really suspect Light. He seems like a normal high school student." And then Light's like, "All right, I'm gonna take him out." And then they're like, "Well, all these guys died, and they were following Light, so it's probably Light."
Oh, yeah,
I think Light was more reckless than I would have been.
Yeah, but he never thought to like, dude, I don't have to write in the Death Note today. I could like take a week off and lay low.
Well, he kind of. I guess he took some time off when he was like, "Oh, I have to start killing people outside of school hours." And then he was like, let me
took a couple of hours off.
He was dedicated, but he was reckless.
He was very reckless. Like, I also read somewhere that when L says that something is under 5% possibility, he actually means the inverse, which means when he said Light had a 5% chance of being cured, he actually meant he was 95% sure he was.
Yeah, speaking of that, I read a lot of weird stuff. Like, there's like a bunch of articles out there just saying that Light's actually gay.
So,
like is this trolls or is it like a valid conspiracy?
Someone wrote like an actual essay and like they had a whole thesis.
So I did hear about like that scene where L was like wiping his feet. Like at the end.
Yeah, they were also saying just like as soon as he knew that the cameras were watching him, he went out and like bought a magazine of girls in like bathing suits, and they're like, because that's what he thinks a normal high school student would be doing. So they were saying he's like closeted about a lot of stuff, and he's just trying to go out on these dates to try and make it look like he's.
I don't know if it was a closet about a lot of stuff. I just feel like
no, I don't think that. I don't think that either. I just thought it was a funny article. And then one guy made the best point. He's like spell Yagami backwards.
I guess that would be, the article. But at the same time, he probably just like didn't care about any girls anyways. He was just like, "Hey, look, I'm out here just trying to kill people and take over the world."
Yeah. That when he started, he was real young. He was like 16 at first, so like maybe he really didn't care about the girls until like 2 or 3 years later.
Yeah, which is very interesting because I was like, when he first suspected Light, he didn't suspect the mom or the sister, but it was, I guess. I mean, the girl was, I don't know how old she was, like 10 or 11 or 12.
Yeah. I mean, he probably recognized that Light was like the smartest of the group.
Oh, yeah, you definitely recognize that. But like, he should have like tabbed the entire household and kept the watch on them. It was just like, hey, look, this guy might be it. Don't even worry about the other people.
Yeah.
I thought his most reckless thing was like killing that dude on TV.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know why he wouldn't like before everybody thought that they just knew people were dying of heart attacks in the shadows, but they didn't know what was actually happening. They're just like, okay, this dude is killing him. Then a dude appears on TV. He should have just waited, remember the name, and then killed him later. No, he just kills him in front of everybody. And the dude is like, well, actually, I only show this to 100 households, and I know you're one of those households. You're probably like down this street, and like close it in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to get to his goal immediately, where I feel like he could have just chilled a little bit. He has this power, and even like once people start suspecting him, he could have like laid low, but instead he's just like, no, I got to kill everyone that's looking at for me.
Yeah, he definitely could have laid low, like a week, a month. Honestly, if after he killed a guy on TV, he should have just like let it go for a year, and then just like pretend that he was a good guy.
I don't know. We were actually listening to the music a lot. You thought some of the songs were cool, right? You're saying one of them had a weird.
Well, yeah. Well, I like Nier's theme song, but I don't really like Nier.
Yeah, we can start talking about the second season now.
I like Nier. He plays with trains, and he likes things to be in like rotation.
I did think there was this really funny scene where Mello like walks into the FBI place or whatever, and he just does his weird like chocolate thing. He's like. And then Nier's just sitting there, and there's this like train just going around him in circles. He's just sitting in the middle.
Yeah, he's always playing with his puzzles, and then what's the blonde-haired guy's name who eats chocolate bars all the time?
Oh man,
I just said that.
Sorry.
No, look, he was.
Who's that guy we just talking about?
Recognize the name.
Edit that part out.
Edit that shit out.
I might leave it in. It was kind of funny that you just like repeated the
We don't
question.
want to have mix-ups.
It's a candid moment.
I know it was interesting though, because it was like in the first season, when when an organization was trying to figure out L, they're like, hey, look, we hired like the second best investigator in the world, and it happened to be L. And then L was like, yeah, I'm actually like the top 3 investigators in the world because obviously being the top, someone want to take you out. So therefore, I created these aliases. And then in the second season, it's like, oh, L actually had like these 2 secret detectives that he handpicked because he thought one day he might die. And I'm sitting there like, I mean, there's no way he could have prepared being killed by a death note to have 2 detectives that could possibly be better than him under his wing.
I mean, they ended up working together at the end, so I guess like teamwork prevails. Light wasn't out here working with anyone. He was like just using people, but he didn't really have like. After he ditched Misa, I think that was a downfall. He should have just had her close at all times. She definitely would have done the ideal a third time, like no questions asked. He should have just had her.
I mean, she probably would have had more than enough life because she got whatever that Shinigami's life was.
Yeah.
She was going to live well past 200 years or whatever anyways. But she also probably would have got him caught after she did the ideal a third time.
Never know.
I think we do know. I think she got him caught the first time. He needed her help to get him out and kill L, but like she definitely would have had him caught.
See, I don't know, man. I feel like she would have done the ideal third time, and then Light would have been just like stay at my hip, and then he'd just take everybody out.
Question: Will, would you do the Shinigami eyes?
Yeah, I think you would have to. I mean, it cuts your life in half, but I feel like with Light's like intellect, if he had the eyes, I feel like he never actually would have got caught, even if he was being as reckless as he was.
Wait, did he ask you if you would take the Shinigami eyes?
Yeah, I think you would have to, because I mean,
like you're saying you would have to.
If I had the same goals as Light, then yes. But I mean, I wouldn't be out here trying to kill anyone, so probably not. But if I had the same goals as Light, then yeah.
Would you guys take the eyes?
No way. I wouldn't do it.
Fuck you know.
Yes, because like, so if you wanted like, even if you killed all the named politicians and actors that you don't like on television, I feel like there's people like that are behind them at some point, like in other places that like, just because you know somebody's name doesn't mean they're the person that's actually in power. So if like,
so you're saying you would take it upon yourself to murder who you see fit.
Yeah, I definitely would.
Better placed in your image.
Absolutely, that'd be the first thing I do.
That's what you're saying too, basically.
I'm saying if I had the same goal as Light, like to where I got to be.
You have your own personal goal. Like this book comes out there, you now have the power mat with your goals and ambitions. You have to use the notebook. You know, we'll make it so like you have to kill somebody every 13 days or you die. So now you're bound to the notebook. Are you taking?
You're saying that is a rule?
I'm saying that is official rule, so you have to use it, so you don't just like sit on it.
Then yeah, I think because I would run out of people. There's no one I really want to kill, so I would probably just do it to random people, and then eventually I would have to, in order to know those random people.
Give up half your life though.
I mean, I don't know, because I feel
like
also, 40s
I would give up half my life also because I want to know who's using fake names. See, I wonder how many people like actually don't even use their real names.
Once people start coming after me, so we'll skip ahead to that part because like I mean,
season 2.
I honestly wouldn't be using the death note if I found it because I don't think I would use it. But if I had to use it, so skip ahead and people are coming after me, I would want to like
a last resort.
I would, well, not even as a last resort. I would want that power up. Like, I feel like the mistake is everyone's using, like that one businessman. He used the ideal, like, when it was towards the end. Like, he backed himself in a corner and he had to do that. But if he had that up front, I don't think he would have been backed in that corner. So I feel like just doing the deal immediately rather than, like, waiting till, like, you're about to lose and then do it. Because even when you're about to lose and do it, you still don't know if that's going to help you because you're put in a situation where you're about to get caught.
I just know there is no way I would do that idea. No way in hell. Like it doesn't even take half of your life. It takes half of your remaining lifespan, which means.
Okay, so that's a little better. I think.
Well, it means like if you're gonna live to be 80, and you do the deal in your 20s, it's gonna take 30 years. So you'd live until you're 50.
I've lived like 10 extra years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like the quality of your life, like those half those years, like those years that you're alive, like it's gonna be better because you got all the power.
I'd settle for 2
But
months.
think about it like this: say you,
So if you could use the eyes and just be alive for 2 months, that'd be fine.
Yeah,
And then you're done. You're gone.
yeah. I'll take like 2 months, 90 days at the most, 3 months, but like 2 months would be okay.
And it'd probably be the best 2 months of your
60
life.
days to fly back. That's only that's only a few.
Oh, dude,
weeks.
you could definitely you could overthrow at least like 5 regimes in 60 days and like discover truths and
Define the
spread them.
regime.
You could, unless the government tries to cover it up. And it's like, okay, we had like this guy die. Well, what did he die from? Let's not let them find out yet.
And then they just wait till you're sick.
But there is like the internet, dude. You could like put that shit all over the internet and hope that people don't let it disappear.
It's true. I would still rather take the 4 months and then not have the eyes and be good.
And you didn't really defend your boy that much. We kind of like walked all over him and then moved on.
I mean, what am I going to defend though? He was only in like maybe 8 different scenes. Like
And
he
that's
was
why
only
it's your
like
favorite.
well, he also did this cool thing where he pretended to be drunk and fell off a balcony and like landed on the mattress pretty flawlessly. Like I think that would be pretty hard to execute. He did a handstand on the handrail.
That didn't stick with me at all. I don't even remember that.
Even when I rewatched that scene after knowing that was his favorite character, like Matsuda really didn't plan any of that. Like Misa actually got them out of that by bringing all her girls over there to distract them.
That's true.
Yeah, so
And he got himself into that situation. So it was like, what were you doing sneaking around?
he was supposed to be getting coffee, and that's what he was doing.
Yeah, I was saying, like, even if you would have heard them, right? You didn't have anything to record them with, so you can come back with proof. You were just going to go back and tell Elle, hey, look, this is what I heard. And it's like, okay, where's the proof that you heard that?
But you know who was out here, like, recording stuff? Like Misa when she was in the car.
Which, that was very bold of her. It was even bolder of that guy to be like, hey, look, I am Kira, to a girl that he barely even met, that he barely even knew. But the fact that she went that far in order to get his name, I kind of respect that. I just thought that like Elle would obviously see through that when she comes back with a confession.
I guess, but she means well because the only thought in her head is like, how can I help Light out?
It's true.
He was a lot more useful than Misumi, or that. What was his name?
Yeah, that Teru Mikami dude.
Mikami.
I don't know why he ever got the Death Note.
He kind of screwed Light over altogether. When you think about it.
Either. That was
that made no. Okay, so Christian, you get this notebook. Are you gonna just be like giving it to some random dude and tell him to like carry out your bidding that you don't even know?
He said he personally vetted him, but I was like, bro, you do not know this guy. You don't know how he thinks. And it was just a failure all around. I have no idea how he was able to like get that notebook and let him operate.
It made no sense. It would make more sense to like bury it and then just like lay low for a while.
I thought Light would be more meticulous than that.
Yeah, I feel like Light was like he can solve the problem from afar, but he was like, you know what? Let me wait until I'm like completely on fire, and then like there's only one thing stopping me from being revealed, and then I'll try to work myself out. And it was like, yo, you didn't have to put yourself like 6 feet down, 5.5 feet down before you decide to climb up.
Yeah, and then he just starts like laughing, like right before he gets caught, and then he says he wins. Like,
and then tries to deny it, like nothing even happened.
Yeah, I don't know why he's like always trying to like let people know that he's Kira right before they die. Like that FBI guy, like he made sure to like stare into his eyes until he died.
Yeah, he did. I feel like he did like that power dynamic. He didn't have to do that either, because like when they was looking at their surveillance cams, they were like, "Hey, look, doesn't look like he's looking at the train in front of somebody." Oh, you know what? He was most likely looking at Kira.
He even did that to Elle. He like caught Elle and just like stared into his eyes, smiled. So I don't know why he's always trying to like confess.
But they're about to die, so I guess like it's like, yo.
Well, you see how it backfires at the end, like
it does, but like with Elle was like over a span of a season. I can see why he looked into his eyes like, I won.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a psychopath, I think.
Although Elle was my favorite character, I would say.
Okay, I mean, I definitely liked L.
Yeah, it's probably my
I
second
mean,
favorite.
the show dropped off a little bit when he died. Because like
He was
Near and
very much back.
Mello, I felt like the rivalry wasn't really the same. They were even trying to tie it back to L. They're like, oh well, it's L's descendants, rather than just like actually talking about those guys as having
Yes,
like their own
exactly.
role. They had to like revert it back to the previous guy
Because
that
they
was
knew they fucked up.
challenging. Like,
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be cooler if they had made it second season more so that Light would have a true apprentice that was trying to snatch power from him. But I felt like they didn't really give one of those, unless you would disagree.
no, I mean, Light didn't really. I mean, I guess maybe he was like Mikami was his apprentice or something. He was kind of like grooming
Yeah, I
him.
thought Mikami was weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like when I look at it, it was uh even with teamwork. I mean, L was heralded as like the top 3 detectives in the world. Um, and then even with all the information he had, he wasn't able to bring down a Light Yagami that was 20, like between 18 to 20, whatever he was when he went to college. And then you're telling me like these 2 kids when he's 26 and he's already gone through like a similar situation before is able to bring him down.
I don't know. Mello was chilling with those mafia bosses. He moved up in the world pretty quick, it seemed.
Because he's the chocolate bar guy, right?
He moved up in the world.
Yeah, she's the chocolate man.
I don't think he was more. I don't think he was better than L. I don't think the both of them together was better than L either.
Oh no, I mean, I'm not trying to argue that. I just feel like, I mean, it definitely dropped off, but I still don't think the second season was terrible. It definitely wasn't as good, but like, I mean, we were talking about before, like how ending in Game of Thrones sucked, and I was saying like you're just gonna get to that point where it sucks. I don't know that this one sucked as bad as that. Like, I don't think it makes the anime get like a bad grade overall.
I mean,
Well, I think
question.
those are very two different things to compare because like Game of Thrones is so drawn out. Like it's drawn out.
But I feel like that
Over
last season
12
was so
seasons.
bad that I don't know if I'd rewatch Game of Thrones.
Okay, what about the second season of Psychopaths, Matt? Did you finish that?
Well, it was technically a different show.
Oh,
Psychopaths 2.
it's just like this second season of Death Note is a different show.
No, it's still the same show though. It's still Death Note.
No. We might as well just like cut it off. Like Psychopath season 2 was after.
I watched one episode and then dropped it because it wasn't the same at all.
This is what like the second season of Death Note is. It was like, yo, what are we doing out here? I mean, they did have to find a way to like kill him off because he had to die. There was no way that series could have ended with like Light being alive at the end.
I just don't know how else they would have done it unless they did it like Brendan was suggesting, where they like L has an apprentice that like overthrows him, or
Light has his own apprentice.
Yeah, Light like recruits someone, and then that guy wants to be Kira himself, and then betrays Light. But other than that, I feel like it had to be like.
Yeah.
I feel like other than that, it had to be like L's apprentice.
That's true, because I mean, dude, the dude had to die. He was like pure evil by the time he killed L, there was no coming back.
I kind of wanted him to keep going though. Like I didn't want him to be stopped by Nier. I really didn't like Nier. I didn't think Nier deserved it.
I don't think so either.
Like he was just some new kid on the block. I was like, where? It just seemed too easy.
There was no like there was no like hints or anything in like the first like 26 episodes. It was like him and his I guess the guy that did like all the data deletion, that had that heart attack.
Delete.
That whoever that guy was, like he was
no, you're talking about Watery.
Yes, Watery. He was present in the series, but it was like we knew that he was the dude kind of like helping L. We had no idea who these 2 kids apprentices were, and there was like no mention of them at all.
I was thinking that like if they had just mentioned like Nier and Mello before L actually died, it probably would have been a better transition.
Yeah.
Like if there was just like any reference to them prior to his death.
It'd be easier to swallow, but like we're also talking about a dude that I can't get over this. This dude created like 3 aliases in order to have like the top 3 detectives in the world. He made sure no one knew his face or his name. And you're telling me he trusted 2 kids in order to like teach them how to run detective work like him? Seems pretty far-fetched.
And he's not even old. He's like the same age as Light.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like he's had the time to tutor. And these guys aren't necessarily like young. They're like the same age as him.
They're like a couple years younger.
Yeah, they're trying to portray them as like children, I guess. But they were saying like that whole orphanage was gifted. They said Watery like founded that, and it was like for gifted kids. So
Yeah, they injected them with something.
They pulled a Naruto. They brought out Kaguya at the end, and they try to sell it to us as like, yeah, this is actually the two kids that are going to bring down Light. Didn't make any sense.
yeah, which you didn't finish Naruto, did you?
Dude, I got so fed up with Naruto that like I wish they never made it.
Ain't that bad?
It's worse. It might be. Like I'll give Naruto up to the first maybe 160 episodes is really good. And then even in Shippuden, the first 100 episodes of Shippuden is really good. But after anything besides those are really bad. Like it's just awful and all filler. And the filler isn't even interesting. It's just like, let's focus on Ino and like her squad and what they're doing in this random ass village. Oh, they found a toad. Oh, they found a toad for the old lady. Oh, all right. And it's like that for 9 episodes. They'll be like, something interesting was just happening. Now we're going to watch 9 episodes of filler before we get back to like something relative to the plot. I don't like all that.
I did not like that either. And it's very interesting because like One Piece and Bleach, when they make like filler episodes, it still has something to do with the story. Like Bleach made a filler arc that it was literally like a side story, but they incorporated it into the main story. Naruto just like throws you into a random world where like things don't make any sense for like 20 episodes and brings you back. Like nothing happened.
Dude, they had one episode, and I actually did skip this episode. It was the one filler I actually skipped during the original Naruto. They had a robot Naruto. They were fighting like a robot.
You talking Mecha Naruto?
Yeah, I had to skip that one. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, dude, their technology is like behind us, and like modern, like they're living in these villages. They're still like throwing kunai and fighting with swords, and then there's just this robot like Terminator of Naruto. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Somebody got a piece of the technology and was like, hey, look, I'm about to go.
Dude,
like,
no.
The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, it was like something that should have never existed.
But apparently people liked it. They even put a character in the Naruto game out of that Mecha Naruto character.
Yeah, I mean, that just
makes me sad and upset even more. And I wish again that it had never been green.
Yeah.
But it's also weird to me because like the first 100 episodes are really focused. Like they were really focused on moving throughout the plot, and then they started moving away to like it seems as if they didn't have an idea past the tuning exams, and everything after that was just like what they were coming with on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it looked like they really pushed the pace of Naruto. Like I want to say episode 130 all the way to 219 are filler. It's like some crazy amount of filler for Naruto after Sasuke left the village, and then it like has a whole bunch of filler arcs, and then it's Naruto leaving the village with Jiraiya before Shippuden. But it was like, they could have just like not made anything and went on a hiatus, and then just made canon episodes when they came back.
Yeah, I mean, we've already talked Naruto to death. It like started off, I mean, pretty strong, and then just like they just started boring us with all this random filler, and then just introducing aliens. Like,
Hey, look, if aliens came on Earth, do you not want a team of ninja to be able to take them down? How would you feel if Kaguya just like popped up, put the whole thing in acid dimension, and then like the series is over?
Okay, but who are our ninja? This is like what, Bruce Lee and Manny Pacquiao are going to go kill the aliens for us? Like,
they probably have the best chance.
you just call Manny Pacquiao a ninja.
I don't know who else the ninja would be. We killed them all throughout like time. We destroyed all the Mongolians and the Japanese.
Those are the two strongest fighters you could think of.
Floyd Mayweather.
Those are our representatives.
We can throw Floyd Mayweather up there. He can get a couple rounds in.
Yeah, he can just dance around the whole.
Yeah, he'll dance around the aliens as they shoot at him.
I mean, the best person to fight them is somebody that doesn't get hit. We don't know if we don't know what they might do to him.
Yeah.
But what I get out of this though, circling back around, is I don't know why you would take the Death Note eyes. half of your remaining life. Yes, Matt, half of your remaining life.
No, I'm just saying, like, if I was having people come after me and I had to defend myself, like, you got to have all the power up front. I'm telling you, all these guys, like that businessman, he got put in a situation where he had to make the eye deal, but he was already checkmated when he did the deal. Like, he was already done. But, like, if you have the eyes up front and then you incorporate that into all of your plans, like, you're going to have an advantage over everyone.
You will, but also at the same time.
Whereas you having a notebook and other people know about well, I don't think they knew about the notebook at that point, but they knew like how you killed. They can take precautions like, oh, I just wear a helmet, you never see my face, never know my name. But then if I had a power where like, dude, it doesn't even matter if you cover up your face, like I have the advantage over you at all times. Like, I think you would want that early on rather than like, oh, I'm about to lose, I gotta make the deal now.
But we also have to remember that like everyone that had to make the ideal put themselves in that situation to lose. Like Misa forgetting the dude's name, she had to make the ideal twice. That business guy trusting a girl he didn't know that he was Kira, put himself in that like situation where he lost because he let like he said too much. He said too much, and then he ended up losing, having to make the ideal. And then L of Light, he obviously should have made the deal, but it's because he kept killing everybody that he didn't need to kill. So as long as you don't put yourself in a situation to lose, you don't need the eyes.
I mean, but there's no telling like whether you'll be put in a situation to lose because there's people like conspiring against you.
There is, or I would say like the people that made the ideal actively put themselves in a losing situation. They didn't
But
have
I
to
feel
do.
like if they had the eyes the whole time, they would have still overcome the situation they put themselves in.
I think if that dude had the eyes, and he still knew that like he still felt for Misa being the second Kira, he still lost.
But he just would have known Matsuda's name the whole time.
He would have, but I still think they would have had a plan to like bring him in already, especially since they already had the recording of him. Like once L figured out, like knew that he was like the Kira that can kill, he would have had like maybe like 4 or 5 plans to bring this dude in.
I'm just saying, like, if my goal is to like pretty much kill a bunch of people to put myself in a position of power, I want like all the power ups.
I guess you could have all the power ups, but I guess like when you half your life, you don't know when that half is coming. So like, say
I
you
mean, I feel like Light died before half his life was up because Ryuk said like at the end, like, oh, I could just let you chill in this like institution for the rest of like life in prison. But instead he just wrote his name in his notebook. So Light very well could have died before half his life was up.
that's interesting though, because I want to know if he always knew Light was going to die at that moment.
No, I think because he said he's like this is kind of the end of the road, Light. Like I could let you live and like get arrested and live the rest of your life out that way, but then he took his.
No, but I think they have to kill him. But it's like if he was, because we don't know what Light's remaining lifespan was, so maybe his lifespan was always going to end at that moment when Ryu.
No, because Ryu could have just killed him with whenever he wanted, and then that had nothing to do with the number above his head.
Yeah, no, but Ryu couldn't kill him whenever he wanted though, because if he did, he'd kill himself.
Yeah, how is Ryuk allowed to kill him at the end?
Why would that? Is that one of the rules? It kills the Shinigami if they do that.
I
Well,
believe so
if
because you tampered with the
Ryuk killed Light at the end, though.
Yeah, I thought you were allowed to do that.
now.
Yeah, because when I actually watched, like the first time I watched Death Note, I was just like, I didn't really pause it during those the half episode mark. But this time I was actually like pausing it to like try and read up on what all the rules were because a lot of those rules aren't even like mentioned in the show or have any relevance. Like there's one rule where it was saying like there can only be like 6 Death Notes on Earth at a time. Like that really had nothing to do with the show because there was never that many there. But they just had like these miscellaneous rules. But what are you looking up right now?
I'm looking at to see how he was able to write his name or like exactly why he killed him.
Maybe he was going to bleed out anyway. Like he got shot a bunch of times and then he tried to run away and got his heart rate up and didn't scab over at all. So
Well, no, Ryuk was saying he was like, Light's gonna get captured anyway, and he's not. And Ryuk didn't want to like wait with him while he rots in jail.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. It says like
Yeah, so I don't think that was like the number above his head. I don't think that was the day he was supposed to die. I think Ryu cut him off short. And I'm saying at the point he cut him off, that might not have even been like the half of his life.
He might not have wrote it in his notebook either. He might have wrote it in the notebook that Ren had left in the world. So maybe it didn't apply to him at that point. Like he's just
it did get kind of confusing with like
the books.
Well, yeah, the books and like who was the owner, because there's even a scene where like they passed it around in a circle, and then Light was like, this might help me in the future, but like I was kind of like confused on who was owning it at different points.
It was basically like he made sure they all own the books, so they would have all the memories associated with that book. So when he got the first Death Note, which wasn't his, it was Misa's notebook. He had all the memories tied to Misa's notebook, but he wouldn't know Ryuk until he picked up his own. But he had enough memories to be able to act on what he knew from Misa.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that was really all I had to say about Death Note. It was overall, I mean, it is a very popular anime. I think it would still be like in my top 10, but that might change once I see some more as we continue this podcast, because I haven't seen as many.
4 stars.
4 out of what?
5.
4 out of 5 stars. First season might have been like a 5 out of 5, and then just because it tapered off, lost a star.
I think if I average them both together and equally weight the seasons, it's more like 3.5.
Oh, you think that poorly of the second half?
Yeah, I thought the second half was not good, but the first half, man, that was top tier.
And it wasn't even really the half, because I feel like it was up till episode 25. That's like where Light died, or not Light, L.
Like the first season was like Michael Jordan with the Bulls, and then the second season was Michael Jordan with the Wizards.
He played with the Wizards?
Yeah, he
exactly. It's like, dang, did he even actually play with the Wizards? It was so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought I played with the Bobcats.
Yeah, and they're the Hornets now, but
Bobcats, Hornets. They should just change the name back. They're gonna be trash either way.
So, yeah, I guess, I mean, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. But
oh yeah, no, definitely highly recommend. 9 out of 10.
Dang, well then, I don't know. We've already done some episodes. I haven't heard you like rate anything a 9. So.
Oh yeah, because it's definitely been like the. No wait, I did Code Geass was a 10 out of 10. That's my favorite anime. But
yeah, but everything else was like 8.
Yo, yeah, they've been all the ones that I've told you to watch have been like lower on my list, like not even.
Okay, so you still have Death Note pretty high up there.
Yeah, Death Note's in our top 15.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all on our end, unless you got something for me.
Oh, that's all I have. Just watch it. You don't have to watch it.
I thought you were gonna squash me to the more for me, but you didn't. You told me to be ready, and I feel like you couldn't really squash it too much.
We can still go back to Misa if you want to. Like, I have like a list of things that she completely did wrong throughout the entire show. I was like, yo, what are you doing?
Well, I thought that's what you were gonna come at me with.
Yeah, I didn't write them down, unfortunately. So I can only remember like pieces of it. But if I went back and watched the episodes, it was like every episode she did something wrong that she did not have to do. That every episode she was in.
Yeah, but then the second Light calls her up and he's like, I need you to do this right now. She's like, I'm on it.
Is that the kind of girl you would want?
Yeah, dude. Like, she, I feel like she was pretty smart on her own, like wearing the disguises, covering up her fingerprints. But then once Light was in the picture, he's like, yo, like, I'm smarter than you, so this is what you need to be doing. And she's like, all right, I'm down, no questions. Plus, I got these awesome eyes that you don't have that you can just use whenever.
First off, all right, when she did the videos or whatever, she like did the recording.
Dude, her loyalty like knows no bounds. Like,
loyalty knows no bounds, but it was stupid. She recorded those videos, and whatever she did, like at her friend's place, where she spends half of her time. So obviously there's going to be her fingerprints and her hair on it. She should have did like a completely remote place that she was never going to visit again. And then after she like she saw after she saw Light, she made a recording like the day after saying she got in contact with him when she should have just like waited and then act like nothing ever happened. Honestly, she should have just went straight to his house. She shouldn't have even done a recording saying that she got in contact with him. Exactly.
I don't remember the part you're talking about. I thought she like sent the recording out so she could like establish a meeting area, and then as soon as she found out who he was.
Yeah, so after she established a meeting area, she found out who she was. She should have just like went straight to his house. Instead, she made another recording. She said she found out who Kira was, and she no longer needs to be in contact with him. And it was like, yo.
Yeah, she said that after she met with Light, and then Light told her to do that.
Yeah, that was stupid on like Light's
Yeah,
part.
so dude, she's just sitting here taking orders. Like she don't.
She's sitting here taking orders, but
you gotta blame the man on top, dude. If I was there giving her orders, she would have done exactly what I wanted her to. So it all would have been good.
But she didn't. I don't think she said exactly what she wanted, what he wanted her to say anyways. Because he also wanted to say that there was 5 or 6 Kiras, like there was a bunch of them. She did not word that right in the recording.
I don't know. It might have been different in the sub.
Might have been different in the sub. It's because dub is inferior.
I guess.
But I know, so it's like it's well known the dub is inferior.
All right, well, someone's got to convince me one of these days.
Well, let them know in the comments.
I mean, you haven't convinced me, so maybe someone else could.
I've seen differences, like in Naruto. I've definitely seen like entire conversations that were different.
I just feel like I'd have to be pausing it way more because sometimes this, like even when I was watching Nobunaga Concerto, some of the subtitles would come up like super fast and then disappear, and I'm like, there's no way I could have read that.
What do you mean? They come up pretty easily.
You can slow down the speed of the video too, though, right? You can play it at like 3/4.
Then someone would be like, ooh, like when they're fighting. Like I don't want to.
Or you could speed it up maybe a little bit when they're fighting.
Dude, you were saying how much was
the Death Note ones were quick.
Yeah, sometimes you'll be watching sub. Most of the time it's fine, but sometimes it'll come up like really quick and then disappear, and I'm like, I have no idea what you said. I gotta rewind that.
I think I've rarely encountered that problem. Like I don't even recall encountering that problem, so I know it's pretty rare.
Maybe you watch so much sub that you just read really fast.
I mean, that can also be true, but I feel like with enough practice, you won't even notice. You just be like, okay, I already got it, and just like keep it moving on. And then dub, you're trying to tell me that the audio is perfect every time. I feel like half the time I'm like, yo, what did he just say? Like I got like half of the sentence, but I can't quite hear exactly what he said. Let me rewind it.
All right, well, I feel like we're on opposite sides of the fence, so we don't really need to just argue about something.
So we both agree sub is better. I think we can't.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll be coming back at you guys with another anime next week, and I mean, Death Note's pretty good. I feel like most people have seen it, so that's why we wanted to do this one.
But if you haven't, still watch it. As next week, what about Re:Zero?
Yeah, I would be down to watch that again. So
yeah, I have some thoughts on Re:Zero, especially since it's been 3 years since they came out with a second season.
All right, well then, yeah, we'll do that next week, and yeah, stay tuned.
Star Wars, Clone Wars.
Yeah, not that, but peace.
Peace.
The series.
Well, I can go ahead and tell you about the key difference between Light and Lelouch if you're ready.
Oh yeah. Well, you wanted to. You said they were different.
Dude, well, everything Lelouch did was for Nonali. Like everything he always did was like for his sister, and then Light's out here thinking like, dude, I might have to kill my sister to like protect my secret.
He killed his father.
That would never have crossed Lelouch's mind where he's like, oh, I gotta take out my sister for my own goals. Like everything he did was for Nonali, and Lelouch is like, what was his sister's name? Was it like Sayako or something? He's like, dude, I might have to. He's like looking himself in the mirror. He's like, dude, I might have to kill her because she's a liability right now.
Yeah, she was a liability at that point. But we have to like when you take their goals though, like Lelouch's goal was to create a good life for Nonali. Light's goal was to create a world with justice. So they were both doing whatever they needed to do to make.
I think at a certain point his goal changed where he's like, I just want to be God. Like I feel like he had a God complex. He's like, I'm the smartest dude in the universe. I'm even when he's like at the end when he's lost, it's like I'm the only one that could have done this. Like no one else but me could have done this. Like who else is gonna be doing this?
To be fair, though, at the beginning, he did say he wanted to become a god of the new world. So it's not like that was a hidden agenda. He was like, hey, look, I want to create justice. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. And I'm going to become the god of the new world.
I feel like that wasn't Lelouch's goal, though. He wasn't trying to be, like, the ruler of the world. He was just trying to, like, make a better world for Nonali. Whereas Lelouch is like, or whereas Light's like, I'm going to reign with an iron fist and my judgment will be law.
Well, they have different goals.
And I'm going to kill my sister if she's, like, in my way.
Yeah, but like that's different though, because his goal, they both did whatever they needed to do in order to accomplish their goals, and they stopped at nothing. Like this dude was ready to kill Rolo. He was ready to kill anybody that got in his way. Shirley.
He didn't kill Shirley.
I mean, like he was ready to like get rid of Shirley if it was like to give Nunley a better world.
I don't think Lelouch would have done that.
You don't think so?
I don't think he would have got rid of Shirley. I don't think he would have got rid of Colin.
I mean, he basically betrayed the entire world in order to like.
Yeah, but he was faking it.
But he still did it.
Yeah, but it was. He understood that he was acting.
Yeah, he understood that he was acting, but it's just like Light. Light understood that he was going to do whatever he needed to do in order to bring.
It's like lying to someone about like a surprise party. It's like your intentions were good for lying. Because they get a surprise party at the end.
I mean, Lights was like, hey, look, I'm going to have to kill my sister, but that's just so I can kill more criminals. So is it like...
he's somehow able to, like, justify it. He's like, I got to kill my sister.
Would you be killing criminals? Would you, like, be the god of the world? Or, like, I feel like I would just kill off, like, local authorities and cause anarchy in certain parts. And I'd start raiding and looting each other in that area. Then I'd, like, move to a new area and do that. Like, I wouldn't necessarily have like an overarching like destroy the whole and change the world complex. I might just do local things like.
But you're not even talking about killing criminals. You're just talking about taking out cops.
Basically, like I don't know, like
that'd be pretty.
You guys
funny.
Want to kill criminals or you just want to kill average Joes?
I'd probably do like a mix of both. I probably wouldn't discriminate. You know, just like if I felt good, write his name in a notebook.
And that's probably the best way not to get caught as well.
Just not discriminating.
Yeah,
that's true. But I still think that Light and Lelouch, they were both doing whatever they had to do in order to accomplish their goals.
I really just think the key difference is like, would you kill your sister? And then Light's like, yeah, I might have to, and Lelouch is like, never.
Well, that's because like Light's sister wasn't his goal. It was like if I say, oh look, my goal is to join the army and your goal is to go to college, and then the dude was like, hey look, would you like wrestle your mom in order to go to the army? Obviously that's like it has a different context than you who has a separate goal, but we're still doing whatever we need to do in order to like get to that end goal.
I don't know, man. I didn't really follow a lot of that.
So like
I just want my mom to go to the army.
Well, Light's goal was never.
You had a chance to go to the Navy.
Well, I was not going to go on a submarine. So if they had let me do what Ted got to do, even though Ted failed out of it, like if I got the chance to do that, I would have went into the Navy. But they didn't think I was as special as Ted.
I would not go down a submarine.
I wasn't as good as Ted.
All I'm saying is Light's goal had nothing to do with his sister. Therefore, his sister wasn't an integral part to accomplishing his goal.
I guess that's the point I was making, that they were different. But all right, whatever.
Who's Lelouch?
So they're basically the same.
He's the main character in Code Geass.
Lelouch.
It does kind of sound like that.
Lelouch.
Yeah.